and welcome to another episode of Rift News, the show that progressively has more and more to talk about as Riot refuses to stop branching out. Although today we will mostly stick to Wild Rift, since finally everyone got the chance to play it. But as always, let's first have a look at what is happening in League. The Space Groove event went live, and with it, we can enjoy what might be some of the highest quality skins in League. This skin line got so much love that Riot even gave it its own theme music. Which makes sense considering it's a skin line about grooving. Of course, this event also includes its own missions, special rewards, and an event pass, which will cost you 1650 RP, which is the cost of about 1.5 skins. Remember this pricing, it will be important later in this video. And from this pass, just by completing missions, you can get some exclusive icons, special groovy emotes, and at the end you can also get a Hextech gem. From the rewards in between, you can get bunch of orange essence, blue essence, 1 masterwork chest, 1 orb, and a total of 25 prestige points. For the price of 1650 RP, it's fine, but fine may not be enough. Again, there is something regarding the pass which we will mention later on. But besides the rewards from the pass, for your tokens, you can get a prismatic chroma for all the Space Groove skins. But you can also get special icons, more emotes, a ward skin, borders, or you can save them up for Lulu's prestige skin. Finally, Gwen will also get a Space Groove skin, and her special chroma might be the best. And speaking of special chromas, besides the event, on PBE Riot is already pumping out new things. Just like every year, Grey Warwick and Medieval Twitch are getting new Honor Chroma skins. This time they got Meteorite and Obsidian. And together with these, first of all we got 3 Dragonslayer skins. There is Galio, who looks stunningly good. You can definitely tell he was inspired by the Aoshin skin, and the entire Dragonmancer skin line. Then there is Kale, who's more of a half-dragon herself, and she becomes more draconic the more she ascends. And lastly, there is Dragonslayer Twitch. The cool thing about him is that here, Twitch is a bit of a dragon himself. You can even see his tiny folded wings underneath his backpack. Now, don't get me wrong, these draconic skins are awesome. But for me, they were overshadowed by the other skins that appeared on PBE. There is Black Frost Scion, which... okay, this one looks a bit silly. But hey, I'll take a Scion skin. But more importantly, there is Black Frost Vel'Koz. And what's amazing about this one is that this skin is a reference to canon lore. Rather bigger one than you might expect. And since you are watching this channel, you know how much I love anything related to the canon lore. You see, the Black Frost skin line started with the question, what would happen if Lissandra corrupted other living beings with black ice? The black ice, of course, is true ice that was tainted by the Watchers frozen in the Holding Abyss. That's why the first Black Frost skin was Anivia. It was a skin that showed us what would happen if Lissandra dominated an old god and brought it into her army. Over time, we got more Black Frost skins, showing us what other creatures would look like under the influence of the black ice. But then we arrived on the Black Frost Vel'Koz. This skin isn't just showing us what would Vel'Koz look like if he was tainted by the black ice. It is showing us a Voidborn separate from Vel'Koz, created by the Watchers, which we have already seen before. You see, this Voidborn is the same one Ryze defeated in his cinematic. It was confirmed by the writers themselves that this skin was definitely inspired by the one in the cinematic. So theoretically, this is not Vel'Koz. This is a different being. So compared to the one in the cinematic, it has the same body structure and it has the exact same eye. Most importantly, in-game, you can see the same world rune on the same pedestal. So they are the same being. Curiously though, this brought up a number of questions. Does that mean that this Voidborn was originally locked beneath the ice to protect the world rune by Lissandra? But also, in-game, you can see the Voidborn is storing some information inside the world rune. In the canon lore, these first Voidborn scouts were created by the Watchers to gather information on the surface of Runeterra and then bring it back to the Watchers. I think this information is what we can see in-game. but I'm not sure if there is a canonical reason why the Voidborn would store it inside the rune. Regardless, we got a canon skin, and I couldn't be happier about it. But that's really it for PvE. I could also mention that Gwen also appeared on PvE, but by now everyone already looked up what she does, and we already made 2 videos about her. So before we move away from League, there is one last thing to mention. During LCK, Riot revealed the 2020 World Champion skins. Unfortunately, we only got the splash art, but still, you can see how different these are from all the other skins. It's like a mix of Shockblade and Pulsefire. And these skins will include Kennen, Nidalee, Twisted Fate, Leona, and the one everyone is excited about the most, Jhin, who resembles a proper godly serial killer. But that's really it for League. So now let's have a look at the other games. When it comes to Legends of Runeterra, as part of the April Fool's event, the game got an Earth mode that's all about spitting out cards as fast as possible. It got a brand new board and a Guardian, but most importantly, the really popular Lab of Legends game mode was updated. Honestly, I already spent many hours playing this, so this update made me even more excited for it. So in this patch, Taliyah and Azir became playable, with Taliyah being perhaps the toughest champion to win with so far. But also, you can now unlock new difficulties by beating them with specific champions. After beating normal, you can try hard mode, which gives the AI more health and it gives their units some bonus stats. After hard mode, there is heroic, which gives the AI even more health, even more special items on their units, and they get a free unit at the start of the game. Finally, after heroic, there is legendary, which on top of all the other bonuses, gives the enemy extra mana to start with. Honestly, I love this game mode, and I am currently trying to beat the legendary mode using Braum and spamming Poros. But now, with Legends of Runeterra covered as well, it is finally time to check out Wild Rift. As many of you know, Wild Rift became playable everywhere, and seeing everyone's response to it, I am glad to see people understand why I was praising Wild Rift so much in the past. It really doesn't feel like a League port at all. It's a totally separate game with its own gameplay and systems, and I'm happy to see people love it as much as I do. So, since everyone now gets the context of what we are about to talk about, let's have a look at what's new in Wild Rift. First, even though Galio recently hopped into the Rift, we still know about the other new champions which are yet to come. Rammus will be arriving soon, and he will arrive with his newly updated ultimate. Instead of just damaging enemies around him, his new ultimate will make him leap forward and slam into the ground. Then he will start his old ultimate on top of it. And based on the data mining from skin spotlights, we know that Rammus will get his Molten skin and his Sweeper skin. Also worth mentioning, this version of Rammus is also being tested on League PC. Then we'll get Kha'Zix and Rengar as part of a special versus event. But unfortunately, they will each arrive with only one skin. Kha'Zix is getting Death Blossom and Rengar is getting Night Hunter, which makes me sad because I believe that's one of the weaker skins. I was really hoping to see Headhunter in HD instead. Also, I know it's just me, but I'm really excited to see Ishtal in the 3D environment behind Rengar. I am pretty sure they will also give this to Malphite. And lastly, Renekton will also arrive later on. And unfortunately, it seems like he will also launch with only one skin, that being Scorched Earth. That's all the future champions that we know about. So now let's talk about the skins. Recently, the April Fool's skins went live, and these included Corgi Corki, Fuzz Fizz, Draven Draven, Surprise Party Amumu, and Order of the Banana Soraka. But on top of these, we also know about the skins that are still to come. We know about the Stargazer skin line, which is not an exclusive skin line like many may believe. It is just one that first appeared in Wild Rift. Here I need to go on a quick rant about exclusive content. First of all, nothing that appears in Wild Rift is exclusive to this game. That is, besides the glorious skins. These are the only ones that will never appear in League of Legends, because these are the equivalent to the victorious skins, which will never appear in Wild Rift. Everything else can be brought from one game to the other. Which brings me to my main point. It is incredibly stupid to be mad that Wild Rift got something which League didn't. First of all, League didn't get it yet. should the Stargazer skins be popular in Wild Rift, they will be ported to League as well. But more importantly, it is stupid to be mad at this, because this way we get two separate teams that are working on two separate skins content. And every time one of the new skin ideas is popular in one game, the other game will benefit from it as well. In other words, we got twice as many Rioters making and trying out new skin lines. So you shouldn't be mad that one game got a cool skin line which the other one didn't. You should be happy that the other game made something so cool it could be put into the game you play as well. We legitimately got double the benefits by Riot doing this. I believe this weird hatred at allegedly exclusive content will be broken once a skin line is ported from Wild Rift to League. And people realize that Wild Rift isn't just leeching ideas, but it is also fueling League at the same time. For example, the Lunar Misfortune was probably made for Wild Rift because League just didn't have the resources to make an extra skin. They were already working on Space Groove. But now, because it appeared in Wild Rift, because they just had extra resources, I bet in the next wave of Lunar skin, Misfortune will also appear in League, because she's been popular in Wild Rift. That's the benefit of having extra people making extra skins. So yeah, don't be mad, because despite what you might have heard from your friends, these skins are not exclusive. And if you are nice, Riot can port them to League as well. Anyway, back to the skins. The Stargazer skin line will launch with 3 new skins: Camille, Soraka, and Twisted Fate. But then we know that God King Darius will also arrive, with a mention of God King Garen being datamined as well, and we know that Blood Moon will also get to Wild Rift later on. And besides Kennen that was shown in Riot's latest video, we know that Blood Moon Diana, Jhin, Twisted Fate, and Yasuo will also come. Now on top of all of these teased skin lines, we also know about even more skins, but those were only mentioned in strings of lines. And we haven't seen them announced yet. So really, we just know that these skins will come based on the data. There is Blitzcrank, which I originally thought could be linked to some Apple promotion. There was also a mention of Academy Ahri, Forecast Jenna, Mecha Malphite, Program Nami, Infernal Nasus, and Marauder Olaf. But of course, we haven't mentioned Hexplorer Jax yet. So now, let's talk about the pass. With the beta launch in the Americas, players are now able to buy the first ever Wild Rift Battle Pass, which, I have to admit, might be the best version of an event reward structure Riot ever released in their MOBA. You see, simply said, it is just a Battle Pass, but it is the best Battle Pass Riot ever released. Maybe not counting TFT, they got amazing passes as well. In League, when you buy a pass, you don't even get a proper UI for it. You just get a list of missions, and you know on which milestone you are based on the text on top of it. But on top of that, in League's event passes, most of the rewards are essences, both blue and orange, 1 random skin, 1 chest containing anything really, and 1 hextag gem at the end. The worst thing about it is that, as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, it costs 1650 RP, which is the price of 1 epic skin and 1 cheap skin. Granted, you do also get 4 orbs with the pass, but since you don't have the option to buy the pass separately at all, it is as if the pass cost you 1650 RP, and the 4 orbs were just extra rewards from it, which still is quite pricey for a pass. It is fine, but Wild Rift handles this in a much better way. If you want the normal pass there, you pay 550 Riot points equivalent in Wild Rift. There they call it Wild Course, but let's call it RP for simplicity. The normal pass is 550 RP. Now if you have a look at the skins, you may notice that the price of the pass is equivalent to 1 cheap skin, which already is about 70% cheaper than what League offers you. And just for buying it, you get 1 random skin from the very first reward. So right at the beginning, you get your value back already. And remember, you weren't forced into buying extra random skins on top of that, like you do with the orbs in League. And what's amazing about this pass is that even with the basic version of it, if you do the math, you should be able to complete it by playing only 2 games every day. And those can be even versus AI if you want. so you don't need to do any crazy grinding. But if you still don't think that you'll be able to complete it, you can upgrade to the elite version of the pass for only 400 extra RP. This elite version will give you extra set of missions that will really bump you forward. So in total, the elite pass is the same cost as one fully priced skin. That is 950 RP. And wouldn't you know it, the main thing you get from the pass is an epic skin. So you get your value back regardless. And that's not even counting all the extra rewards. So let's have a look at those. At the beginning you get a random skin. After that your filler rewards are boosts to your blue essence. And Poro coins with Poro energy, both of which are used to get free random skins. So it is as if you are also getting free orbs on top of that. Then there are some extra rewards unique to Wild Rift, such as the ability to choose a new pose for one of your skins, but mainly then there are the exclusive rewards. The Hextech Jaximus icon, Alistar's emote, a Hex Explorer banner, a shovel which you can throw on the ground after defeating an enemy, a Jax Unleashed icon, a recall skin, because remember in Wild Rift you can also get special recalls, a Fiora emote, another Hexplorer banner, a bulb which you can throw on the ground, an icon border, and finally the exclusive Hexplorer Jax. This alone is worth the pass. And should you level the pass beyond this point, you can also get his special pose. Here I really only have one wish. Riot, don't repeat your mistakes and make this Jax skin unobtainable after this event. Exclusivity breeds desires, and desires make things cool for people. League lost its exclusivity for the sake of more profit off of older skins. I still remember the old days of witnessing a really awesome rare skin in the game. I remember you, Toy Gangplank. So please, don't make this skin purchasable later on. If anything, it will undermine all the work people put into leveling the pass. But that's really it for all the skins and progression in Wild Rift. So lastly, we got two more things to mention here. Wild Rift, at least in some regions, is currently testing position preference. This is their version of role picking. And so far, from my personal testing, it works just like it does in League. But instead of just 2 roles and a fill, you give value to each of the roles. And you get one depending on the availability. And finally, even though it may be gone by the time this video goes live, ARAM is also being tested. And I have to say, it is as much fun here as it is on PC. But here, since the games are only 8 minutes long, and since you are playing on your phone, I believe ARAM may have the potential to drive most of the casual player base. It really is just a quick and fun game mode for anyone. I only wish you could level up your pass through it. But that is it for the news. If you expected even more talking about Gwen, don't worry, we will probably get more soon. I know people already checked her out, so everyone already knows what she does in-game. But when she's released on live servers, we will most likely get an extra story about her. Remember that these release color stories usually don't push the lore forward. They usually just give the champion some context as to what they are currently doing. Then again, there were some exceptions in the past. For example, in her color story, Samira already teased Rel as a future champion. So let's hope Gwen explains what's the deal with the next Yordle.